Kelly, every quarter I feel like I've asked you the same question, but now you have a clearer picture of what Zoom's growth looks like or doesn't look like in a post-pandemic world. What are the numbers telling you?
Well, I think what we all know for sure, right, is that we're never going back to a world the way that it was before. And Zoom is very honored to have kept people connected through this pandemic, these last 15 months. But we're also excited to be able to now enable people to work flexibly, whether people want to work remotely or in the office. We're going to be there. And we're really evolving from being this killer meetings app to being the platform and the communication hub for our customers. And all that is going to lead for long-term potential growth for Zoom through meetings, through Zoom Phone, Zoom Events, which we announced last week, and then Zoom Apps, which is going to be generally available later this summer. So we're really excited to be a key partner as we start to move through the world in another way.
So what do you have to say, Kelly, to the investors who are still concerned, who just think that Zoom can't possibly continue to grow like it has? And yes, the world is changing, but it hasn't stopped changing yet. And we're getting closer and closer every day to normal, or what it was.
Yeah, I mean, we're really pleased with the numbers that we announced yesterday, 191% year-over-year growth and guidance for the year approaching, $3.9 billion and 50% year-over-year growth. And then we also announced we had our largest enterprise deal ever in the history of the company yesterday with a large financial institution. So we see continued strength and momentum in the upmarket. We're really excited about Zoom Phone, which beat our internal targets for Q1. And then, of course, international continues to be a really strong point of growth for us. So all of that combined together, with our platform positioning really leads to long-term potential for the company.
Well, I wanted to ask a question about international because it is making up a bigger portion of the pie. Can you give us some color on where you expect the growth to come from internationally, given these new trends?
Yeah, so what we've seen happen over the last year is an acceleration of video communications globally, as well as an increased brand awareness for Zoom specifically. And that has really led to increased adoption globally, which has meant we're able to hire salespeople more quickly in the markets. And we've seen strong growth everywhere in Europe, in Asia. Latin America was really a strong point for us in Q1. So we're excited about that potential.
Now, obviously, Zoom has empowered this whole remote work revolution. And as companies make these big decisions about whether to come back fully or hybrid or not at all, Zoom is going to be a critical tool for them. I'm curious what Zoom's philosophy is internally. Are you going to allow remote work indefinitely or hybrid, or are you expecting employees to come back in the office full time?
Well, we, like all of our customers, are still learning and refining our philosophy around this. We actually are testing reopening an office. We just opened up our Australia office on June 1st. So that's our first office to reopen. And we're going to watch and see how our employees use space, what works well for them. And that will continue to inform our own internal philosophy about how we open the rest of our offices eventually.
Meantime, I want to talk a little bit more about the diversification of products. You mentioned Zoom Phone, and I'm curious how you see this evolving into a fuller suite of products that enterprises can buy, as opposed to just the video conferencing software, which has been so key.
Yeah, so what we've seen is customers, as we've transformed their meetings experience now, and they're looking to simplify their vendors, they're turning to us for their cloud PBX solution as well. Phone especially has been one of those last areas that organizations have made the jump from on-prem to the cloud. And the combination of the pandemic, having office phones sitting unused in office spaces, has really propelled people to start to think about making that transition. And super excited, we announced yesterday on the call, we're up to 1.5 million Zoom Phone seats sold. And that's really exciting momentum that we see for us. And then if you combine that, you think about as people are moving back to the office, the combination of that with Zoom Rooms, and then of course we have a Zoom Chat product as well, you start to see this full communications platform that Zoom has to offer.
So take me to 2022, Kelly. What does the picture look like then when we're out of this sort of, hopefully, messy middle time, vaccines still rolling out, companies still trying to figure out what kind of company and workplace they want to be? What does 2022 look like for Zoom when some of that has been clarified?
What we see is a suite of products that help individuals and organizations seamlessly move through their workday or their social life or even maybe their children's school, because they can leverage the product for the flexibility and the convenience that we've all grown accustomed to. So you think about even parents going to PTA meetings. Now they can still and hopefully continue to pop into those meetings for an hour in the evening rather than have to drive across town to their children's school. Or it keeps organizations connected by leveraging something like Smart Gallery, which is our technology that creates this democratization, where everybody's square is the same size on the screen, whether you're in the room or you're working remotely. And that's what we're endeavoring to do, is take the best experiences that we've all had over the last year and combine those into moving around the world safely again in the best possible way.